Hello there. Welcome to Ewok Talk, a podcast about all things Star Wars. Back at it again, I'm Nicholas Koss, here with...
Mohammed Salahin.
And I'm Diana.
Yeah, she sure is.
The fuck?
I don't know. I just wanted to say something.
Okay. I can assure you, I am Diana.
Well, they don't know.
Or
what?
You know.
Anyway, so it feels like we haven't podcasted in a long time. Feels like it's been forever since the last time we recorded.
We're actually podcasting at night, which is the first time, right? This is the first time we
Podcasting
at night.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I prefer podcasting when we have some daylight in here.
You guys are crazy. This is really cool. I feel really good right now. Really, really good.
Well, for our viewers at home, Mo usually doesn't wake up until after the sun has come down. So he feels at home now.
And Nick means that in a sexy vampire way, not in a weird, lazy way.
Yeah, no, if the light touches his skin, he just disintegrates.
Yeah?
So
ironic, because I am a person of color. For the listeners at home.
That's not relevant.
They couldn't tell from your name.
This is a minority-owned podcast, so...
Yes, I am Polish, which is
I just got
a minority. Anyway, okay, so the reason we're forcing you to listen to us jabber on is we decided to watch Rogue One again and revisit that film and talk about it. Literally just finished watching it, so it's very fresh in our minds.
Yeah, and I really like this approach. Even if it is longer, I mean, I feel a lot more equipped and it feels more organic. I have so many thoughts bouncing around in my head.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun to watch it, and then I'll be able to really just dive into talking about it. And I think the first thing I just wanted to start off with saying, I think Gareth Edwards did a really great job with the visuals of this movie. I think this is one of the most visually impactful movies of the Disney era for sure. I mean, maybe just the entire series. There's just so many shots that stick in my brain after I've seen the movie. And still, every time I see the movie again, I'm like, wow, that looks really good. That's a very cool, impressive shot. Or you feel the impact of these action scenes or the grand scale of these things.
Yeah, I agree. I've discussed this with you guys before, where I maintain that my favorite Star Wars movie was probably Rogue One. A lot of people disagreed with me. And that's fine, but when I was watching this movie again, I was prepared to be less impressed with things that I've already seen. But no, I feel like every time I watch this movie, I like it more. I know we're going to talk about it more, but that's how I wanted to start my overall thoughts.
Yeah, and I'm guilty. I mean, I was one of those people that just scoffed when you said you liked Rogue One. And for some reason early on, I had seen it, and I remember in the middle I was really bored. But on this rewatch, for some reason I was wired. Even though I knew what was happening, the pacing felt really good, kept moving you forward appropriately, and yeah, the visual effects, I was spoiled, really spoiled. I mean, it felt like every 20 minutes it was a treat for the eyes, another beautiful scene. And it's amazing that Gareth Edwards has captured this where in the other films, I guess he just kind of blends in. Maybe I didn't notice. Maybe I should go rewatch all of them.
I agree. I think what's really interesting to me is just how much this movie still is fun and engaging to watch when you've seen now, especially with The Mandalorian and everything. We've seen a lot of Star Wars live action stuff. Mm-hmm. So you'd think after watching all of Rogue One or whatever, you'd be like, okay, great, more Star Wars action. I've had my fill. That's enough. But no, I'm still wow, this is some of the best Star Wars action for sure. And the whole series pretty much, the space battles, the angles, and just the pacing of it. Really just, I think it's very exhilarating, even compared to a lot of the newer stuff.
Yeah, it's a really great Star Wars war movie. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people overlook that. And I also think that a lot of people overlook the cast, because we have this very diverse cast. And these are all pretty much new characters that you haven't met before, but I felt myself very engaged with so many of them. You know, like, I think my main issue with Rogue One, first of all, was some of the writing upon my first few watches were a little, like, iffy. But rewatching it now, I think in comparison to a lot of the other things that have come out since then, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm sticking with Rogue One.
Who is your favorite character?
I thought it was Jin for a very long time, because she had that whole dad thing, and I can relate. My dad also built a Death Star. No, but I really have to give it to Cassian. He's a great character, and like Diego Luna did such a good job. For a while, I was very like, oh, I like Mando, I like Pedro Pascal. But upon seeing this again, I'm like, okay, Diego Luna, okay.
Is that what they say these days?
Perhaps.
No, my favorite character is also Cassian Andor. I relate to him because I also tried to almost kill your dad, but
couldn't take the shot. I really like Cassian. He might be my favorite character in the film. Yeah, I mean, but I think everyone did a good job. Like Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Alan Tudyk as K2SO.
Alan Tudyk.
Very fun robot, very memorable. Yeah. Donnie Yen was great. I guess the guy who played Baze Malbus is named Wen Zhang or Yang.
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I only know Donnie Yen.
Ben Mendelsohn as Krennic.
Yeah.
I thought Krennic was like...
Krennic, so good.
He's a good villain. You know, obviously he's a little bit of a bitch, but that's what makes him interesting. Like, I like his dynamic with Tarkin a lot.
Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome, especially like that ending, you know. It's like, oof. Cold.
He is a villain.
Nice.
He's a villain you can really hate. I really hate him. And, you know, similar to casting a good Nazi, you have to cast someone you really hate. And so if you're listening, Ben Mendelsohn, if you haven't played a Nazi yet, it's in there for you.
you wait.
In the bag. Speaking of the villains, how do you guys feel about watching now after, you know, it's been such a long time since the movie premiered? How do you feel about the Tarkin CGI?
I always thought it was fine, to be completely honest. I think even when I saw it in theaters, I don't know if I was wearing glasses at that point, because I think we saw it with people and they were like, it looked weird. But I think it's mostly in like wide shots when he's with other like human people, he looks strange. But when it's just like a close-up of him, I think it's completely fine. I think it's really good, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, every time I see it, I'm completely struck by like, I mean, this really should amaze people, that you can bring people back from the dead, something really unthinkable. What, 10 years? Well, I mean, you guys tell me, you're the editors. 5 years ago?
Obviously, I think people will argue that we're still not really there yet. But no, I agree. I think I was, you know, you can tell that he is CGI, but he's very, very fucking good CGI.
Yeah.
Like, very impressive.
They didn't half-ass it.
Yeah.
No, I think he looks great in most of the movie.
Do you guys think that Leia looks worse than him?
A little bit.
We get like a second of her, right?
We only get a little bit of her. I do think...
She looked a little odd.
Yeah, she looks a little more off-putting. I can't place my finger on why that is, but she just doesn't look right to my eye.
Skin's too good. That's it. Unrealistic beauty standards for women. I mean, when are we going to stop with the Hollywood nonsense?
Yeah, I don't know.
Diana, you have a timetable?
It's that Korean skincare.
I think the Leia that we saw in Rise of Skywalker looked more like Leia, but that she's also like, it's a weird angle and it's like
more things were happening.
Things, yes. You know what I mean? That flashback in Rise of Skywalker when she's training with Luke.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. But in this movie, she looks fine. I mean, a lot of people when this came out were like, oh my God, that shot. Oh, look, gag.
Oh, like in a bad way.
Yeah, like that was terrible, ruined everything, you know what I mean? It's just like, no. I mean, do I think it's perfect? No. But like, yeah, it's a good moment, sure.
If only they knew when they were filming the original trilogy to grab this shot so they could use it for Rogue One.
Why didn't they get that pickup? Yeah.
I think that honestly is a case of like the very loud minority here. I mean, it's just unfair. You can't win with these people, I feel. And rewatching this movie, I remember the amount of hate that came out for Jane Urso, that came out for Diego Luna having a Spanish accent. Like,
Oh my
Jesus.
god. I have
yeah.
so much to say about that. First of all,
There aren't Mexicans in space, okay?
exactly. It's like nobody. Okay, they made such a big deal, but they don't realize how much of an impact it makes for people who have accents, people who think, oh, like I would never exist in a Star Wars movie or anything like that, and they get to see themselves. And then you have people like Mads Mikkelsen, who has an accent.
That's right.
They have they have Donnie Yen, who has a bit of an accent.
Yeah.
It's just, but we can't. We're not shitting on these people. We want to shit on Diego Luna because he's handsome. Got it.
Trying to bring him down, man.
Look, if Diego Luna's accent implies the existence of space Mexico, then Mads Mikkelsen implies the existence of space Germany, and that's a lot scarier to me than space Mexico.
Where do you think the stormtroopers come from?
Nazis.
Those lovable nuts.
It's so frustrating. And again, on your point that like this movie got so much shit, I think it was kind of like a scapegoat for the reaction to The Force Awakens, because I think people were complaining that Rogue One was really fan servicey and shit like that. I'm like, are you kidding? In comparison to The Force Awakens, like it's such a better movie than that. And I was so upset that people were,
Yeah, and I think, in Rogue One, sure, there's elements that you can label as fan service. I think the thing that stands out the most is that shot of R2-D2 and C-3PO. But other than that shot and like that strange encounter with Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan and Jeddah, the walrus face guy.
Oh yeah, I like those moments.
They were odd, and I guess you could say those pandered to the fans a bit. But the rest of the film, where people are like, "Oh, well, it's X-wings and stuff, and we can't get away from that." When this movie came out, people were saying that kind of stuff, and it's like, well, it's specifically set right before New Hope. What are you supposed to be using? Random ships?
Yeah. It's like fucking nitpicking for no goddamn reason.
I really applaud the authenticity of this movie. It really does feel like it really captures the essence of like the costuming and the set and design and whatnot of the original trilogy. I think it really fits snug in there.
That's a whole nother thing, is the outfits. Everyone's fit looks so good. Yeah. Everyone. The costumes are so freaking good in this goddamn movie. Like I can't get the visual out of my head because it's not even just, oh, it's Star Wars. It's fucking dope. Like, I would wear this shit if I could.
100%.
Show up at Galaxy's Edge.
And I know all of us true Star Wars fans know, but for you intro listeners at home, they grew the mustaches, deliberate decision to make them all look like pornographers. I mean,
yeah,
the 70s. It's the 70s.
Yeah.
So now tell your friends.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just, like I said, I think everything about the way they made it, I mean, even down to the CGI of the ships, ILM was very, in this movie, they were deliberate in trying to recreate the space battles and ships looking as if they were models, like how they were photographed in the original trilogy.
Right.
I think they did a really good job. I think this might have some of the best CG ships in all of the new movies.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for first-time watchers of New Hope, the Death Star must have been very intimidating. I mean, when I had seen that, I don't remember feeling that way, but this Death Star, the way they made it look was really intimidating to me. I was really intimidated. The scale was unbelievable, and I remember I'm a big, nerdy, nitpicking nerd. Mm-hmm. And when the Star Destroyer comes into the light, I was like, oh, where's that light coming from? Oh, is that coming from a nearby star? And then I see the Death Star, and I just shut the fuck up. I'm just like,
yeah.
Yeah. And you do forget how big the thing is. The original one is technically the smallest of all the Death Star / Star Killer things we've seen. And still, seeing it compared to like the Star Destroyers, which look like tiny little model cars, it's like, wow, that is huge.
And they really didn't hit that impact. Just to shit on other movies while I have the chance. In episode 7, Star Killer Base, I was just like, all right, whatever. Here we go again.
Yeah, Even though they have that holograph in episode 7, they have a hologram where it's like, this was the Death Star. This is Star Killer. And it's like the Death Star is like a little ping pong ball next to that.
That's a really good point. This is a great lesson in show, don't tell. And I guess they were both show, but the second one felt more like tell.
Yeah.
When they're
comparing
doing
something.
Star Killer Base, you don't really get the scope of it. Like, there's no shot where you're like, oh shit, that is huge. Whereas in this film, there's so many shots that like you really see the terror of how something like this could be that devastating.
They should have put flame decals on it.
To make it go faster?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoy this movie a lot. I'm happy we got to watch it.
Yeah, and one of these cool pieces of trivia that I wanted to go over was that John Knoll, who's I think he's a creative lead now at ILM, but he was doing post-production, like visual effects supervising for all the prequels, had a pretty close relationship with George Lucas. He's one of the like co-founders of Photoshop, like really crazy, brilliant guy, amazing work in visual effects, a legend really. He was the one who came up with the story for this. This was something that he always thought would be cool to see. So I'm really glad that he got to push this through and get this made.
Yeah, and speaking of the story, can't we just be happy that we have like a really engaging story about like a huge hole in the original trilogy? This is a pretty original idea and it's very sweet, it's very genuine, and they could have made it cheap. But that's the thing, like I don't find this movie cheap at all. When like there's so many parts of like these new movies that I find like meh.
Yeah.
It was funny, it was sweet. Yeah, like I said, you can engage with these characters so much without really knowing them. And why can't we just appreciate that?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. A lot of love in this movie. And, you know, if I was George Lucas, I would be constantly, slack-jawed by the ingenuity of these nerdy, nitpicking nerds out there. Like the Rogue One plugin, you know? Fucking fantastic. I love it.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
I think he's just talking about when Riz Ahmed's like, we're Rogue One.
I really like that name, though. I
Rogue
will
One,
say.
great name, funny, interesting, and I mean, you know, I guess we should make it clear what the big plot hole was, right? Why is there this giant fuck up in this enormous Death Star?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Why can you blow it up by shooting one laser down a pipe?
Because of love. Because of family.
Because of stardust.
Yeah, that's another... Okay, here's the thing. There are two things about this movie that I didn't love. One, Stardust. They said it too many times. I think they just said it too many times and it got annoying. Another thing that they said too many times, I'm one with the Force with me. I was like, all right, we get it.
I think they said that maybe 2 or 3 times too many.
Yeah, exactly. Like just a little bit too much, you know? Where it's like, we got it.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I agree.
Yeah, but other than that, it's a totally fine movie.
I like the depiction of the Force in this one. You know, as an energy that binds all beings.
More like
in the
a religion.
Yeah, but also like something that is real, you know, not like, oh, I just believe in the Force. Like, dude, this blind guy is badass. That's not by accident, you know? And a lot of elements that seem like chance, like the missing, whatever, it's clear that the Force is guiding events in the story of Star Wars, which I think is a far more fascinating philosophical take than the Force is something I used to grab a beer out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Which, by the way, I can do. I don't know if viewers know this, but I am Force sensitive.
And it is an internal struggle to not be annoyed by it.
Michael Giacchino wrote the score for this film. He was brought on after they did reshoots and stuff. I don't remember who the original guy's name was. But Michael Giacchino only had a month to write the score for this movie. And I think for having a month, he did a pretty good job. I like it a lot. I mean, is it the most memorable Star Wars score? No. Is it better than the sequel trilogy scores? I think so.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't like that main theme.
I thought you didn't like it. I was waiting for you to say you didn't like it.
I just don't like that main theme.
He doesn't like the Rogue One theme specifically.
Ba 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 ba. How's it go? Ba,
That's
ba,
enough.
ba, ba,
Hey, hold on. This is my thing, okay?
Okay, go ahead. What are you going to do? Go ahead.
Ba-da-da-da.
Oh, you got me.
Well, it was
He got
your
me.
fault, Nick,
He
for
got me.
interrupting me. You got hit with the ba-da-ba-da.
Well, I guess I'll kill myself now.
With the Force.
And we were talking about this while we were watching the movie, but I also really like, clearly the whole movie was really inspired by like World War II / Vietnam visuals. I really like how the rebels in this are using helmets that we had previously never seen before,
Right.
like in the original trilogy or anything. And they're like exactly pretty much M1 military helmets just with Star Wars stuff strapped to it, which is, I love those helmets and I think they're great. So I was just happy to see that. And I think that's a really cool visual choice for this movie.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
I think it's a great example of hitting a feeling of realism and or authenticity without taking it to stupid levels. Like, if I feel like if this was in someone else's hands, then one of those helmets would say like "Born to Kill" and it was like a full metal jacket.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, go too far with the reference.
Every time happens every time, but not in Rogue One.
Not in my Rogue One.
I really appreciated the. There were a lot of parts. This movie moves a lot, and I felt that on this second watch, every move kind of made sense to me. I don't think there's any big holes. You go from Yavin to Jeddah to Edu
to Wobani. No, that was earlier. That was just a prison thing.
And that's, I feel like that's a lot of movement. And none of it was wasted. Everyone, it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the first time, or maybe the first couple times I saw the movie, it felt more disjointed in the beginning. But watching it now, it didn't feel as disjointed as I remembered. It kind of just feels like, these characters are just coming together in a good way,
Mm-hmm. And there's some lines in this movie that are just cold-blooded.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Like, Jesus, man, what the fuck is your problem?
You'll never win.
Where have I heard that before? Like, what is he?
Look, Mira, I'm back from the dead. It's a miracle.
He's got great writers.
And also, K2SO, such a good character.
I like him.
Honestly, I think he's great. He's so sassy and like, this movie was funny, like we were talking about Solo the last time we had a podcast, and I know you guys really like Solo, and I like Solo too. I liked it a lot more the second watch. But yeah, I still got to give it to Rogue One. I really do. It's just it's a more satisfying movie for me.
Actually, focusing in on Solo and Rogue One right there. I mean, what was the robot from Solo?
L3.
Yeah.
L3. I love L3. I really do. I love the character. I love the dynamic with Lando, right? But K2SO, like, there was no point where he said something where I was like, oh, shut up. Oh, no. It just felt so well placed, and I love that character. And tying into a lot of what makes Rogue One special, like, he dies.
Yeah.
A lot of people die.
And he's got those hips. I said I was going to bring it up. All right.
Got the hips. Hip shot.
But yeah, no, he does die, and that did crush me. And then you see more people die, and you're like, okay, I get it. But it doesn't get any easier.
And that adds this level of impactfulness to what they're doing that is hard to get, when you're doing big franchise movies.
Absolutely.
And an excellent choice, really. But what was a terrible choice?
Something that I'm about to disagree with.
Wait, hold on. Let me just touch on the K2SO thing before whatever this horrible choice is. I just wanted to say, I pretty much agree with what you said, but I will say that K2SO, there were just a couple lines in this movie that I was like, okay, you could have just got that one out.
Name it.
Like the one where he's like, if Cassian comes back, we're leaving them. It was like, there was just no point for that line even being there. I thought that was dumb.
I think 95% of his lines were great, and 5% were just like, I didn't need that.
I liked his personality more, for sure.
Yes.
The other thing I just want to mention is I think the most heartbreaking death scene in the entire film was when the monkey boy died. And the thing crashed and monkey boy went down.
He loved his job.
Black Hawk Down.
He died doing what he loved.
Yep.
Shooting at ats.
Yes.
From the window gunning area of
War hero for sure.
You weren't moved by, I'ma go, or I'll go.
Oh, dude,
what'd he say?
I also love that guy. Yeah, he's like, I'm going. And he gets shot immediately.
Oh.
Lieutenant Cephala, I think that guy's name is.
Jesus.
Well, actually, if I could comment there, there's this, I guess, ongoing debate as to what a anti-war film is, right? What elements need to be present for an anti-war film to succeed. Oftentimes, when portraying the horrors of war, you're also, unfortunately, portraying the fucking badass nature of war, which is so cool. Mm-hmm. And someone said this, I don't know who, I could look it up later, but basically, to communicate that effectively, you need to have more random suffering, more like people who didn't get a chance And that element being in there, again, adding to the authenticity of the fight and the sacrifice that these people made. I think a lot of people, like the ships crashing into the shield, exactly that.
I agree, yeah. Having those seeing a lot of those random pointless deaths, essentially. And like, not pointless, but exactly what you were saying, where it's just like these random people seeing their suffering is important.
I'm the one who said it. For the record, anyone who's listening to this podcast,
Diana,
this is my point.
Good one, Diana.
Thank you.
So what was that thing that you said was like...
Yeah, this is the part that I
Here's my next great point.
Okay, you guys ready?
No.
Why no keys? Why no keys?
Excuse me, what was that?
Why no keys?
Why no keys?
Why no keys? So bad, man, woman kiss?
I mean, I definitely got vibes that they were gonna kiss when they're in the elevator going down after all that happened with Krennic. But I agree with Diana. I don't really think a kiss would have made that better. I think it probably would have made it cheesier for sure.
It would have cheapened the moment by so much.
I think so, because they didn't really build a romantic relationship.
This isn't a romance movie, and the whole... shut up.
Just because they're both attractive young people.
And they're clearly attracted to each other, and sometimes the way that, like, Cassian talks to her, it's like, yo. But at the same time, it makes it hotter that they don't kiss.
Okay, wait, so what's the criticism? Am I too horny or not horny enough? Because I'm just confused.
You're horny in the wrong way.
I just think you need a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Listen, I just want to say, look, bro, I saw that's the thing. It was teased again and again. Like, bro, if a girl ever walked past you and then stop and then turns I'm just saying, you gotta be kidding me.
And he's like, yo, welcome home. But I'm like...
Their faces are right there.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is that it's so heavy, So I like that they don't
really not
waste
the time
it.
to kiss.
Exactly. They're about to die, and then like they did this really strong, like they did it, That's enough. That says more than a kiss would.
If we're ever dying together, no kiss.
If we're ever dying together and you try to kiss me, I'm going to slap you and yell at you with my last breath.
Bro, if I try to kiss you, you've already been dead for weeks.
What?
Cut this out.
No, I'm leaving it in.
No.
We got to leave all this in.
Freaking editors.
But yeah, no, here's a good example. Fucking Rise of Skywalker. They kissed.
I liked it.
I hated it.
Yeah,
it was so stupid and useless.
Pointless.
Had they not kissed, it would have been such a stronger thing. You're gonna...
I think they could have kissed, but that moment they shouldn't have. I mean, like,
sure.
I feel like that was just not the time.
They essentially ended it with a kiss.
Yeah.
And it just
thought it was
cheap. It was cheap. Like, why are we doing kisses before death? As if that's the last thing you would do to someone before they died, is kiss them. Like, there's so much...
Mo, Pornhub exists. There's fan fictions of these things.
Go kiss the cats.
I just like to comment that your conflation of romance and sex proves everything that I'm saying. And for the listeners at home that agree with my velvety voice, tune in for Mo's Love
Ladies,
podcast.
don't fall for this shit. He's
Don't
trying to trick you.
I'm confused. I'm confused how two enormous icy glaciers that hate love could ever end up in a relationship together, like you guys. Thank you to my writing team.
I don't understand what the insult was.
You guys hate love.
No.
You do.
Not really.
No, I don't hate love. I just don't
We're clearly in a very successful relationship.
Marked by hatred.
Well, see, I don't believe the reason you want them to kiss is over any sort of love insinuation. I'm calling you out right now.
If you
this smug motherfucker. Cracks a big ass.
Are you telling me
like,
I want? Wait, hold on. This is the Valentine's Day episode, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, welcome. So it's my town, baby. I rule Valentine's Day. Did you just turn my mic off? Look, I've said everything I had to say. I would have just liked a little kiss, and I'm gonna make an Excel. You know what? I'll make an Excel of all the Star Wars movies with a kiss, and you tell me there's not enough love in Star Wars.
I would really like us to do a poll on social media so that we can revisit for the next episode. Can we do that?
Fortunately, our network is full of lonely...
Thanks, Nick.
I'm just kidding, listeners.
I'm here.
Well, the last thing I wanted to touch on before we move on to our next segment was now after rewatching Rogue One and after seeing The Mandalorian and after seeing Clone Wars, like all of the new season that aired last year or whatever,
Gotcha.
with the Siege of Mandalore, I will say Luke Skywalker arriving in The Mandalorian and the Darth Maul thing that happens at the end of the Clone Wars, I still don't really hold a candle to the Darth Vader scene in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing it for the first time in the theater. Like, first of all, the beginning of the movie is that... Hated that.
I love that, yeah.
I know, it scared the shit out of me when we saw it in the theaters. But the amount of power in that one scene, that one sequence is so good. Just the suffering and, like, the fear... And it's so real.
I mean, I still had very strong feelings watching it just now, And I mean, I do love that Luke Skywalker moment in The Mandalorian. And I think it actually is a better payoff in that story than it is here.
Mm-hmm.
But here, there's just the way it's executed and just the buildup of like all these sacrifices we've seen by all these characters to get to the point where we are in the story when Darth Vader comes in and then just slaughters even more people, adding to the ultimate sacrifice that was getting these planned. That was just perfect.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen, and I don't know why. When he turned that lightsaber on, I still got scared. It's just instinctive.
Yeah, no, you get chills. Like, really, it's such a good scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene. Very well directed, perfectly shot.
Like everything else Gareth Edwards did in this movie, it's tight as a drum. Crazy. How do you do that?
That's the thing, is that, like, Gareth Edwards, I'm not really familiar as a director, even after this movie. Like, I don't know what he's been working on since then, but he did such a phenomenal job with this one.
He did do a very good job, but I also want to say...
Fuck you, JJ.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, JJ, come on, man. But...
Mr. JJ, sir, I'm still on your side.
I'm not, for the record. Besides JJ, I just wanted to say that Gareth Edwards did do a really good job with this movie, but it was definitely a film that had extensive reshoots for the third act. And, I think sources are still kind of muddled on what the actual reason was. I think the original ending of this film, like, most of the main characters actually lived, which would have been a totally different movie.
Yeah. Boo.
But I will say, I'm just saying, like, Gareth Edwards had a lot to work with because they did extensive reshoots and whatnot.
Right.
So, I mean, like, he definitely is a huge reason why this movie was as great as it was. But I just want to bring up that there was a lot of behind the scenes readjusting. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He just nailed the sacrifice theme in this movie so well. And it's just such a strong thing in Star Wars that people tend to overlook, especially when discussing it. It's always, you're good versus evil, or dark side bad. And stuff. It's like, yeah, true, but you gotta realize how much it takes for the light side, or like the good guys, to get there,
And actually, you raised a great point where I really like the depiction of the rebels as like these ruthless, almost scumbags at a certain point.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Jyn Erso, it's like, oh, you don't want to do this? Well, we're gonna kill your
I've been
ass.
in this fight since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, no, his character's so fucking good. Cassian, holy shit.
First thing he does is like kill his friend or whatever, a rebel associate. And when I first saw that, I was like, but now I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's gotta do what you gotta do.
Had to make a lot of hard decisions.
Yeah, and ultimately that led to such an important thing, as you see in the earlier movies. But yeah, no, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Cool guy. There's gonna be a series on him, right?
No way.
Yes, there is.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Too bad they're going to have to come up with a whole new arc.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what age he's supposed to be or whatever, but yeah, I'm excited.
6 years old.
It's just a 6-year-old Cassian Andor show.
Boom, nailed it.
There you go.
That wasn't editing, ladies and
Little
gentlemen.
baby
That was real
K2SO
time.
with him.
That was quick, man. That was quick. Oof.
On your feet. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that
flame
was,
decals on them.
and that was our thoughts on Rogue One.
Woo,
Thank,
woo, woo,
thank
woo,
you.
woo.
So
Wait, I have a quick question on this very last thing.
all right.
Do you guys like this movie more than Solo?
Yes, but that's a tough say. I mean, Solo was really fucking good, but this was
Yeah,
amazing.
It's hard for me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like them both equally, I think, but for different reasons.
Okay, fine. I like this movie.
That's cool. I'm glad. It's a good movie. Yep. So that's our thoughts on Rogue One. Now let's head over to Mo with the latest around the galaxy.
Leia, I hardly know her.
Thank you, Tusken Raider person.
No, you're not selling it.
Oh, thank you so much. Who's doing the interview? Let's move on to our next segment. These are the droids you're looking for. If you all don't know, we here at the Ewok Talk have been on the hunt for bizarre Star Wars merchandise, trying to find every weird, random little bit of memorabilia that we come across and compiling it on our Instagram. So who wants to go first this week?
I can go first because I feel like mine isn't as exciting.
Okay.
The one that I found was actually something that I spotted in the wild while I was at Rite Aid the other day. This was actually several months ago. So what I'm here to show you, you guys have seen before. I will send you the picture I took, but here it is, this Baby Yoda Chia pet.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, but it's like, why? You know, and he's not even the green part.
Yeah, because he doesn't really have enough hair to be the Chia pet part. And like, it's just kind of like it's kind of just engulfing him.
Like, it's cute because it's Baby Yoda, you know, and I get that, but I just think a Chia pet, come on, man. Like, is this what we're doing?
Yeah, they still making those? I didn't even know.
Yeah. They have other Star Wars Chia pets available. They're not as cute.
Yeah, they are still making those. It's fascinating.
I'll show you.
I didn't realize that was ever like a profitable.
Yeah, no, seriously. But yeah, no, they're still on sale, so you guys can snag them up. They have other Star Wars. They have a Chewbacca, looks stupid. They got a regular Yoda, looks stupid. But yeah, this one's the cutest. So if you're on the hunt for a Star Wars Chia pet, I recommend the Grogu Chia pet.
Chia.
Yeah, comment down below to enter in our Chia Pet, Baby Yoda Chia Pet giveaway.
Yeah, we can actually do that.
All you have to do is tell us what your favorite Star Wars movie is and why, down below in the comments, and we will raffle off a winner next year.
Prepare for your night in heaven.
With a Chia pet?
That's right.
Okay. You want to go next, Mo?
Absolutely. So, the world can be a cold and cruel place. And oftentimes, it's just the uncertainty. You just don't know where you stand with people. And if you're like me, if you've ever wondered, does someone hate me? Does someone really hate me? Do my parents hate me? Well, if you got this gift, you don't have to wonder if your parents hate you. Because, holy crap.
Oh, boy.
You're going to see it online, folks. If your parents let you walk out of the house with that on, they wanted you dead. Because what the hell is that?
Explain for the people who refuse to look at our Instagram.
If you're a millennial and you had an Android phone or something way back when, you probably played the game Angry Birds. Right. This is a Angry Bird wearing a Rebel space helmet printed onto a giant parka that a child then wears.
Oh, what a terrible costume.
You're speechless because you can't believe how awesome that sounds.
The person who made that, made it for someone that he hated.
The child actor is... It's just not right. This is abuse. His face is forever associated with Angry Birds Rebel space helmet costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awful.
His life is over. Well, coincidentally, my pick for this week is also a costume. I don't even know how you wear this comfortably. I mean, like, so it's Han Solo in Carbonite costume, where it's essentially just like, it looks like a air mattress that you blow up and wear, and you put your hands through in your face, and comes with gloves, I think. But for the face part, what they have appeared to have done is just paint the person's face gray. And if you look on our Instagram, this freaking model is just nightmare fuel right here.
Oh.
Oh.
It's worse than you could possibly imagine.
You're saying they painted the face?
Yeah, look at it. He clearly just painted his face
What?
and stuck his head through this thing, and it's just disturbing.
Oh.
How do you even move in that?
I don't know.
Oh
Yeah, I mean, I guess your feet must just be behind it. Oh, it's just
if you
so
want to look
creepy
like
looking.
if you want to look like a fucking idiot for Halloween, we got you covered.
You can't. How are you supposed to talk to someone?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I think that's a mask. I think it's just a mask that comes with it. Oh, that's horrible.
That's even worse.
Yeah, you're just in a box for Halloween. What's the fun? What's the fun part of
I
this?
don't know. That looks scary. Well, I would not want to associate with the kind of person who would
Yeah.
want to wear that.
If I see you walking around in a Han Solo Carbonite fucking costume, you're done. It's
won't-
over.
That's disgusting.
It won't be a hate crime because we're gonna love doing it.
Well, yeah, that's those were the droids we're looking for this week.
I was not looking for that one.
Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, remember to comment down below, and we will enter your name in to win the Baby Yoda Chia pet.
Grogu.
Ah, too quick.
There you go.
Yeah. Flaky cats.
Excuse me. It's time for some Bombad fan mail. If you have a Star Wars question you need answered, comment down below, send us a message or an email to talkewok@gmail.com to be featured in our next episode. This week's question comes to us from a good friend of the show and the creator of our logo, Alicia.
Woot woot.
Shout out to her. In the description or something, I'll put a link to her Instagram. Sorry.
Just Google Alicia, guys.
Alicia Prieto. Right?
Oh no, you put her whole name out there.
That's fine.
Why would she not want to be recognized for her work on this amazing podcast?
Wanted in 17 states.
Anyway, so she asks, how come Leia uses her powers like one time, even though she also has powers?
She's referring to the Force.
Yo.
Yeah, she's referring to the infamous, the Superman Leia fly back into the spaceship in episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it more of a Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, I think you're right. More Mary
What a
Poppins-esque.
weird scene. I really thought they were gonna have the like R.I.P. Carrie
too.
Fisher during
Me
that
too. Me
because you get
too.
such a good look at her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that could have been handled more tastefully than it was. It looked awkward. It was poorly blocked, and it, like you said, looked like Mary Poppins. It did not look. It wasn't a badass moment. It was more of a like, oh. I feel like you could hear everyone simultaneously groaning in the
I
theater
don't think
when it
anyone
happened.
loved that.
No,
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but again, the execution was just horrible.
Swing and a miss.
I actually really hate the fact that Alicia has now put this on us. Like, it's
Now we
now on
have to
our
explain
shoulders.
away these problems.
I'll go first. A successful career in politics requires ample use of force powers, Alicia, as you can see from.
But she's not a politician.
She was.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think she was.
She's ambassador.
In the sequel trilogy?
Oh, she's a general then.
She's a general.
General politician, whatever. Look, I'm trying my best here, man.
Well, clearly she was trained in the ways of the Force after Return of the Jedi, so she
Right.
wasn't really a politician anymore at that point, I would presume.
That's true. So if she used them after Return of the Jedi, then okay, she must have used them a bunch of time in the books.
My only way to explain away this canonically is that I'm assuming, after she had a vision of what Kylo or, Ben Solo was to become, she kind of, I don't know why that made her not want to, finish her Jedi training, but I think that wasn't that the reason why.
I don't know if I heard of a different reason, but that makes sense, I guess.
But I mean, I think she just almost has a similar relationship to the Force as Luke does, in the last Jedi, where he's like, fuck the Jedi, they're idiots, what am I doing, I ruined everything. I think she kind of has a similar feeling.
Yeah, I think it is kind of among that, where because she's like this leader or general or whatever of the rebellion, she wanted to draw a line between that and being a Jedi, rather than having that. I don't think it's a good reason, but I think that was J.J. Abrams' like main thing that he wanted to draw against.
Yeah, I agree with that. She must have used it a couple times in between Return of the Jedi and Episode 7. But just like, who's that character from video game?
Scrappy Doo.
The Fallen Order video?
Yeah.
Cal Kestis?
No, his mentor.
I don't remember her name.
Well, she also cut herself off from the Force, similar to Leia. That's the best I can do for you.
Yeah, but I just don't think that's a good enough reason. Just like, I feel like the Force, you should be able to use it in the way that you want to use it. You don't have to use it like a Jedi. There are plenty of Force-sensitive people who aren't necessarily Jedis.
I agree, like Chirrut in the movie in Rogue One that we just watched.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I agree with all that. That's why I said canonically that was the only reason I could think of. But now getting into why I think as an outside force, like just as like thinking about J.J. Abrams and everyone who made the decisions to put what they did in all those movies. I think J.J. Abrams is a hack fraud. And I think in The Force Awakens, here's my thing, okay? I don't even think J.J. Abrams ever planned on having Leia use the Force in any way, because I think he's just the worst in terms of like not actually understanding how to push the material forward. So I think that was a very explicit choice by him to not have her do anything Force related in The Force Awakens, the movie that has the title Force Awakens. And then Rian Johnson, Last Jedi, uses her, does that Force thing or whatever, and that wasn't thought up by JJ. That was Ryan's doing and whatnot. Poorly done, but at least she did something in The Last Jedi. And I think if Carrie Fisher was still alive when they filmed and completed Rise of Skywalker, I think she would have been a much more integral role and probably used Force stuff, Force powers and such in that film.
Yeah. I also wouldn't discount Rian Johnson's need to shock people and be like, oh, you thought she was dead? Oh, you thought she was...
I do agree that, yeah, Rian Johnson has a thing with that. And like, in my opinion, maybe she should have probably just died at that point in the franchise, because what was left of her was just a shell of the character after that, unfortunately.
That's what I thought was going to happen, honestly, because I saw it after I learned she died.
I'll give Rey the lightsaber. Then she'll give it back.
Yeah.
Then I'll give it to her again.
I know. I mean, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
I admire that they tried to do something, tried to include her into Rise of Skywalker, but it just did not work.
Long story short, it's because she's a girl.
Because she's a girl. Well, she's not Rey, so.
Because she's an older woman there.
Yeah,
That's why, because they're haters.
Yeah, we're all frowning, by the way. None of us like this.
Yeah, no, it
the
would have
only
been
people
way
that
cooler.
can use the Force are children, young women, and men of any age. Just so you know.
I wanted to do the Star Wars theme again, but you guys just get mad. So listeners, just imagine me doing the Star Wars theme.
It's not even the Star Wars theme. It's some made-up thing he did.
Well, imagine it.
Oh,
now he gets to do it.
No, this is what he does to us.
Stop!
He stole your thing. But yeah, okay. I guess that's all we got for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Alicia, for your question. We really appreciate that. And remember to submit your own fan questions by commenting down below or sending us messages to the various accounts that we have spread and hidden throughout the internet. All right, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Ewok Talk to become part of the tribe. If you want to see more of our content, you can follow me at Bobby_Fut on Instagram or Maladaptive Films on YouTube.
Or you can follow me, Diana, as Bitter Peaches on YouTube, where I talk about anime. I just watched my latest video that I haven't touched in like 4 months easily. It's very good. So once I get back on that, you're going to see it. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you so choose at bitterbaguette.
And if you're not doing anything on Sunday, you can just add me on Facebook, Mohammed Salihin. Thank you.
Why on Sunday?
How unromantic.
Oh. Lame. Well, there's another episode of Ewok Talk. Thanks for listening, and as always, nub nub.
Okay. All right. Good job, guys.
Yeehaw!